Fantasy Goats. That's right, baby. The War Chief is aiming and firing. So are we tonight. So are you, Fantasy Goats. We got a special one for you. We've got the day two, the day three prospects that we are going to basically, we're going to map them out. We've put these dudes through a filter, not our filter, but a filter. And once they meet the filter criteria, we've got them. We're going to match up their archetype from veterans that are still in the league, that are still doing their thing. We're going to match up, or comp. You could call it a comp to veterans. These specific prospects that are projected to go on day two and day three. And truthfully, Goats, War Chief, I mean, like, rosters are built on day two. Rosters, it's much like fantasy, right? League, you're round one in fantasy, it's your anchor, right? So, I mean, day two, you have round two, round three. Day three, you have rounds four on. This is where rosters are built. This is where GM's hit rates are built as well. And the best.
Absolutely.
You know what else? And before I go, and this is so important. This is so poignant. The best general managers or the best operations, they're not trying to just swing for the fences. They're not. They're trying to swing at the right pitches. They're trying to hit the curveball. They're trying to hit the slider. No pun intended. The slider. Let's go, War Chief. All right. So again, Goats. Each of these prospects, they have to have at least one lead trait. There's got to be some role clarity. Okay. The second contract trajectory, that's kind of important also. Like, does this team see them, if drafted, signing them to an extension in 4 years' time or less? Also, medicals. Now, do they come in with question marks? And, we're dealing with that as we speak with a certain wide receiver. But it happens all the time. Medicals. Is a player falling down boards because of that? We do have a player that's coming in with questionable, or he is coming in injured with a medical. We're going to get to him in a little bit. War Chief, again, this isn't the entire list. It's just like a handful of prospects, names that we expect to absolutely, if not day two, day three. Let's start with this dog. Let's start with Kaytron Allen. Physical, durable, third down, goal line, short yardage is what they project the role clarity to be. Is there anybody that comes to mind? Is there anybody that you think, but who could we match up that archetype with?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think you said it's the archetype, not necessarily just this singular player, because I think this next season we may see somebody in Detroit kind of fit that same archetype. I think Kaytron Allen is the thunder to whomever's lightning. And I think that's a great role. That's still a 1,000-yard runner. That is a 10-touchdown guy potentially. I see a lot of that David Montgomery. I need you to be the strength of this run game. I want you to wear defenses down. Kaytron Allen did that for a long time in the Big Ten, and I see him doing it in the NFL too.
I like the pedigree, and I do like that role. I mean, look, if we're doing dynasty rookie drafts, Goats, and if you've got Kaytron Allen on the board and you're staring him down, would you rather take a player where that his role is clearly defined, or you're going to take a shot at somebody because you may think that you're waiting on this player to exit in 3 years' time and it just never comes to fruition? So just a little food for thought there, for the dynasty freaks, the dynasty nuts like us. All right. I love them. Monty is of 2019. He was drafted in the third round, David Montgomery, and God bless him. Now on his third team. This is a pros pro. How about Emmett Johnson? I know we like Emmett Johnson. This is sure-handed. So great hands, pass-catching running back. He's a zone runner. Emmett Johnson is someone that's going to make a lot of teams, think about whether they have to move for Emmett Johnson or not.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing you missed, absolutely shake you out of your shoes. Just
Yeah, he'll do
your
that too.
cleats are on the 20 and he's and he's on the 15-yard line at this point. I know I see a lot of someone that probably he'll probably be in the same kind of round range. Bucky Irving, someone who moves faster east and west than north and south. But continues to get good yardage, doesn't really lose any. Just makes the first, second defender miss to gain those extra yards.
Pass catching, pass protection. These are traits, right? Or these are skills, I should say. These are skills that are coveted, right? If you can catch the ball, if you have good hands, you're gonna get a job. You're gonna have a role. You're gonna be in the team's plans. Remember plans. Let's get to. We got two more running backs, War Chief, and we're gonna go with Jadarian Price, the acceleration, open field vision. That means like, okay, like once you got through the first level, now he sees like the main hole and he's off to the races. That's what that means. Um, the note on him is he's improved as a pass catcher. This is a starting caliber back. It may not start that way. He's a starting caliber back, no Chief.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just unfortunate that he had to sit behind, Love for so long. Jeremiah Love, we couldn't see the absolute pinnacle of what he could be. I feel like just watching him, you see a whole bunch of shades of people. Like you said, you don't see breakaway speed, open field quite like that. But you don't want to compare him to a Saquon Barkley because we haven't seen enough. We don't want to compare him to a guy like an inside runner like Brees Hall or anything because we haven't seen enough, but he shows a little bit of everything. He is kind of like a jack of all trades. But like I said, he could be a really great runner in the NFL, and we'll see where he turns
How
out to be.
how about I'll give you one. A Tony Pollard 2.0.
Man,
If
I think that's a pretty good comparison. Yeah.
if he continues to develop as a pass catcher, that will allow him to get onto the field more often. But remember, Tony Pollard had to start out as a backup and worked his way in, right? And then Tony Pollard took off. Tony Pollard had a great season and a half, and then that's just the nature of the game. I think I see shades of Tony. When Tony had open field, when Tony had the lane, Tony had some nice breakaway, some nice explosive plays. One last guy, another one of our favorites, Mr. Jonah Coleman. Jonah Coleman, big inside runner. He's contact balance. That's an elite
Mhm.
trait. All right,
Yes, elite
if you
trade.
can knock around a defender or two, a bigger guy, and still stay up, you're good to go. He's great as a pass protector. He's great in pass catching. He is a versatile back. I wouldn't be surprised if this was the second running back or the first one taken on day two, War Chief Jonah Coleman. Let me
Yeah,
see.
absolutely. You know who he reminds me of? Not necessarily in size, but in like the way he runs and like he has all those things. Like I said, pass blocking, can catch the ball. He reminds me of Matt Forte. I know I'm kind of going kind of old school for some folks out there. Like, who's Matt Forte? The Matt Forte, great running back for the Chicago Bears. Super consistent in the pass game, the run game, and like I said, he was a really good running back. I think Jonah Coleman kind of has that same type of outlook.
You're not going super far back from me. All right. I I loved Matt Forte. I really did.
Was.
As a fan, back then it was fantasy, fantasy, and that's. I mean, I've been doing this for 20 plus years. Matt Forte, if I remember correctly, without me having to go through old clips, he was also very patient. Like he got there was a lot of 2 yarder, 3 yarders, three and a half,
Hmm.
four, but he just wore you down, and then you got a good one. Then you got a few like fives and sixes. And Matt Forte played for a while. He was a three down running back. Okay,
Hmm.
I think that's why we all fell in love with Monty, because we thought Monty was just gonna like he was the next Forte. Nevertheless, I don't want to digress, but Matt Forte is a fantastic comp. Matt Forte also may have been a first rounder, also. So look, if there's any similarity,
No, he went a little
perhaps
later.
did he? Oh, I may not have
Yeah,
gone
he
that
went a
far.
little later. Yeah.
Oh, then I didn't go that far back.
Yeah,
Then
we didn't go back that far back here now.
I didn't go that far back. No. Let me tell you. Let me tell you why, goats. I went back as far as guys that are still playing, which is also another
Hmm.
brutal truth, right? I mean, like I didn't want to. I could have went to Derrick Henry, right? I could have went to CMC, and well, first off, they're first rounders. Second, though, like you're not playing that long. All right, Goats. If you like this type of content, if you're just a draft nerd, if you're new to the draft process, if you love Dynasty, if you love football, join us. If you love context over noise, subscribe to the Fantasy Goats. Let's get to the wide receivers. This is going to be one of my favorites. Is one of my favorites. He fits the I'm injured right now mold, so he has a there's a better than average chance that he just falls out of the second round in the third round altogether onto day three. That's Chris Bell. He's
Absolutely.
strong, explosive, and strong. Run after the catch, and this guy's got some serious tools, and he's got a torn ACL right now. He's not going to be able to. I mean, the prognosis is good, I think, but I don't. But the problem is the timing. The problem is he won't be ready in like 3 weeks from now to hit their rookie camps.
You
Um,
know.
but Chris Bell is someone that's going to, as long as he stays healthy, I think I like. Oh man, who's I looking at in terms of maybe just body type? War Chief, in terms of what he does out there, it's. I mean, DK Metcalf. Do you like DK?
But DK might be a little bit thicker than Chris Bell, but I do
Yeah.
understand where you're going. I've kind of heard this a little bit, and I kind of would have to agree. I would go more of his teammate, his college teammate, kind of has that AJ Brown in him. You know, like
Okay.
that this like catch it and go, and turns 5 yard catches into 20 yard catches just from like I said, just being able to catch it and go and but still having that big thick body. Yeah, I think he has the potential to be one of those real boom guys. Where like, dang, why didn't nobody take him earlier?
Um,
Because of the knee. But
because of the knee.
absolutely no. Yeah, but he could absolutely just. We look back in 5 years and go, why didn't nobody take him higher?
I mean, well, let's put our team hats on, right? I mean, like we all think that the Jets need to get a wide receiver to help out that wide receiver room, but yet I'm in the camp that I don't want them to spend high for a wide receiver. Why wouldn't I want to wait on Chris Bell if I've got a pick, if I got pick 44 and I've got a bunch of picks in the fourth round and the fifth round. Like if I wanted to move into the third, like why would I want to get a Chris Bell if I already know at least I have starters, so he can just like relax, get healthy, and he might be that curveball that Moogie's trying to hit. And then if you're not okay, what about the Rams? Like we all know they know how to
I mean,
freaking scout.
perfect situation.
They know how to scout some wide receivers, from what I'm told. Right? I
Absolutely, and
mean,
when we're kind of one of those teams who we like red shirts. We like to red shirt our rookies, so they can be passed the baton the next season. I mean, I think that would be a great spot for them.
shit. You don't have to start immediately. But all right, let's get to it.
Mm-mm.
How about this young man who plays with urgency, toughness to own a catch point? Now that tells me you're a dog. That tells me that you're going to get the catch before the other guy's going to get the catch. The other guy being the DB. He could play outside or in the big spot, and he's versatile. That would be Elijah Surratt, War Chief. What do you make of someone who's versatile that could play out wide or off the line? You play inside, over the middle. Elijah
Absolutely.
Surratt.
Yeah, Fernando's favorite weapon. Threw him more back shoulders than I've probably seen anyone throw back shoulders to one single receiver. But no, when I looked at him, I actually had to go back because I feel like they only used him one type of way at Indiana this year. Like I said, out wide in that role. But like going to the year previous when he was with Curtis O'Rourke, he was moving around a little bit, and I really saw a lot of Michael Pittman in him. Versatile receiver, just absolutely just good at everything. Plays inside, plays outside. Like I said, has great hands. I see a lot of Michael Pittman in Surratt.
Yeah, so do I. Not one of my favorite pros, but that has nothing to do with. It has nothing to do with the fact that I salute him as a pro, right? I mean, look, Michael Pittman's on his second contract. He fits this criteria. And Elijah Surratt has an excellent shot of following in that archetype's footsteps. How about Teddy? Ted Hurst. Teddy is big and explosive. He's also developmental, but he could be a X wide receiver, or again, and much like Elijah Surratt, also plays flanker. Ted Hurst, physical, explosive. Is this the DK guy or not yet?
Well, I have a different comp for him, but it's kind of the same family, the same prototype. And I don't want no one to take this as a slight. I just see him like I see it as I'm watching him. I'm gonna say this: his comp for me is who we wanted MVS to be, like who we wanted him to be, I know MVS for the Saints one game had like 3 catches for 160 yards or something crazy like that, but that's what I see at Ted Hurst. Just a guy who's tall, great deep route guy, can separate. Like I'm like, man, I see MVS as like highest potential in this guy.
MVS. You know what? There's not much you could say about MVS either, man. He's been playing for a while. If you continuously just get 1-year contracts, you have to, again, there must be a certain skill set. You have at least one elite trait, and you're at that point, you're a professional. You're a professional in this league that works hard at their craft. I have I got 2 more wide receivers, GOATs. This guy, we're going to be saying his name often between now. We've already talked about him. We're going to be talking about him a lot moving forward for years to come. That's Germie Bernard from Alabama. The dude's ball skills. More again, ball skills. When I hear ball skills, you know what I think of? I think of like dudes that like just like do acrobatic shit with the ball. Like just like could catch it with one hand.
Mm-hmm.
Not just like someone who like is a regular, 2 hands out, and like someone who could go get the ball out of the air. That's ball skills to me. I could be very wrong. I don't think I am, or it might be loose.
Spot on.
Someone that's just gonna, I'm not gonna wait for the ball. I'd rather go get it. He's that athletic. He's going to be a wide receiver 2 in this league. The question is, which team and how much he could thrive in that particular role, being opposite another wide receiver, and he's going to thrive. Germie Bernard, baby.
Absolutely, Germie Bernard is my favorite wide receiver in the class. I feel like I'm falling more in love with him every single day. Just. Inside, outside, he actually had a split of 54% out wide, 47% in the slot this season. So he is an inside-outside receiver. He even lined up in the backfield at running back sometimes with Ty Simpson. Has some great route combinations out of the backfield. But super tough, super reliable. I'm seeing juiced up Jacoby Myers. I'm seeing like Chris Godwin at his absolute peak, like. I think I look at Germie Bernard and I go, he's going to play in the league for 10 years. He's going to be on somebody's roster for 10 years, average exactly like 900 yards a season, and just be the best team's receiver. Not necessarily talent wise, but he's going to be someone that they can always rely on.
Yeah, I'm excited for this dude. I am. Again, if I got to put my team cap on, I would like this. I don't know if the Jets are. Germie Bernard's going to be a second round. It all depends on their draft plans. It depends on how they want to really attack that position. We spoke about that earlier in the week. As a matter of fact, Coach, just check out our AFC East priorities for the draft and the separate content for the Dolphins that I posted, the separate content for the Jets that I posted. The War Chief is like the star of the thumbnail generator, and I'm here for it at all times. Let's get to Bryce Lane. Bryce Lane, natural hands. Okay, so that's good. That's a good thing. He adjusts well to the ball. That's a good thing. Of course it is, with body control. However, it's like, okay, he's gonna have to eventually compete for a starter. So there's something that I don't want to highlight any weakness right now. There's just like Bryce Lane. He's got natural hands. He adjusts well. Do we have an archetype? Do we have a comp for Bryce Lane where we could see him being a good pro, like an MVS, but like, it's just someone that's not. It's going to be hard for him to crack a good amount of reps for a team.
I think his comparison is not. He's not as pro ready as his comparison, but I think at the very best he could be him. I do see Christian Watson in him, kind of that he's the same like size profile. They went to the same school. They kind of even look the same, but I just don't think he's as developed as Christian Watson is right now, or when he came out into the league.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, well, the school's lining up with a certain wide receiver who's on again, off again. But yeah, I think Christian came in with a little bit more athleticism. Yeah, a little bit more polished for the school anyway. Then he wound up with the right team, because we know the Packers love to develop their wide receivers, and they certainly have. Yeah, let's not forget also, Bryce Lane's got pedigree. He does have some genes. It's a good athletic family.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see where he catches him. I like the Christian. Maybe a kind of like a poor man's, maybe a Khalil Shakir, poor man's Khalil Shakir out of the slot.
If he can, I mean, like I say, he's a bigger guy. Like a power slot.
Right. Okay, so it goes right back to the whole entire premise, right? So like if Bryce Lane were to get drafted on Bryce Lance gets taken in round 5. It may not be immediate plans with the team, but I mean, he meets other criterias, right? Like, okay, we do have a plan. We're gonna give him these reps. We're gonna attempt to develop him, and we're gonna see how the fuck it goes. Let's get to 2 quarterbacks, and we'll have a separate show for the tight ends, because I mean, unless we
spend all day talking about
them. Arm talent, command. But he was injury, and that would be Garrett Nussmeier. I think if there's any quarterback that's going to be called on day 2, not named Ty Simpson. So that would be someone's going to go get their backup quarterback in round 2 or their backup quarterback in round 3, because that's where he's projected right now, Garrett Nussmeier. War Chief. Now, quarterback is a much different animal. We were speaking about that prior to coming on, and it's just a much different beast, the quarterback. They need more than one elite trait. They need a lot more than that. But let's say Garrett Nussmeier. We were going through that list. I mean, would you put him like Dak? I think he might have a better arm than Dak.
He does. I think at this point of where Dak was come out of college compared to him, he does have a better arm than Dak. But when we're talking about quarterbacks in this range, they do have to be talented, but also they have to be fortunate as well. So Garrett Nussmeier has to go to the right team, and the right things have to fall into place for him to, I think, potentially see his potential. I think if Garrett wasn't hurt, I think he would be easily quarterback 2, and I do think someone would invest a first round pick in him. But we are with what happens, and like I say, I see him one of a stronger armed Brock Purdy, because he does have that mobility. He is on the smaller side, but he's a gunslinger though. He's a different type of gunslinger.
He's a gunslinger.
But yeah, like I said that.
If there was one player that we would break the protocol, the guidelines of this exercise, and comp an archetype from round one to Garrett Nussmeier, it's Jameis Winston, isn't it? It's Jameis Winston, the guy's got a great arm. He makes great throws, and he makes great throws to his team, and he makes great throws to the other team. And that's what seems to be, or has been, Garrett Nussmeier's issue. Like, he's throwing he's making unnecessary throws, but he sees the field, which is going to work. That works in his favor. And having the good arm works in his favor.
Yeah, when you watch him play, you can tell he's the quarterback coach's son. He sees things that some guys aren't taught to see at that age. Like it's like he's a little more advanced in the head than other 22 and 23-year-olds. But yeah, like I said, he has the arm. He does, like I say, he does tend to think sometimes. You know what? I can get it in there, and it doesn't work out for him. But
I could get it in there. Yeah, I could squeeze that in. Not always.
And then ends up in the opposite team. But I like that mentality. I'd rather go down swinging, than just kind of playing it safe and hoping things kind of go your way.
Yeah. I mean, like, look, especially young, right? Especially like in your first 2 years, when you think you could, like, over time, kind of like, sharpen up the edges, right? Like, okay, let's smooth this out. Like, at this point, you shouldn't be making these mistakes, because mistakes are costly. They're very costly. Let's get to 2, maybe 3 more players, but definitely one more quarterback. Drew Aller from Penn State, very sturdy. Sturdy is good. Sturdy means you can stand in there, you could take a hit. Guys will kind of like knock off of you. That's sturdy, and also he has a strong arm, and he's got some good, promising intangibles. But there's also, again, don't want to highlight weaknesses, but Drew Aller is going to be. It's uncertain, War Chief. It's uncertain. He's obviously gonna get drafted, but I'm not sure if that's going to be. In other words, if he has to be thrusted, let me ask you this way: if Drew Aller has to be thrusted into a starting role due to very, very unfortunate circumstances, like season-ending injury to the starter, and then let's say and Shador's not working out in Cleveland, so now he's like the QB3, like, as a rookie. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be able to. I don't know if Drew Aller's going to make it from there. But is there somebody that did make it coming out of round 3, round 4, round 5 for a quarterback not named Brock Purdy?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at kind of like his build and archetype, what's the kind of like the best case scenario? I look at someone like Malik Willis, who was just an absolute project, and that's kind of where I'm going with it. Like, he was an absolute project. It took him 2 to 3 years and spot reps here and there to figure it out. And then now, he's in Miami and he's a starting quarterback, and, he looks very promising. I think that's kind of the same thing with Drew Aller. Whether it be with the same team or if he has to bounce around a couple times, it's going to take time. It's going to take development. He has all the physical tools, but he just has to put them all together.
How about a Drew Lock 2.0?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Drew Lock didn't really make the most out of his opportunity, but he got opportunity. He wasn't terrible all the time, but he wasn't very good. He wasn't consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I can see Malik Willis also. I don't know if Drew Aller, well, again, maybe he's going to develop into mobile. A certain rhinoceros that we know loves this quarterback and thinks that the footwork can improve, where the footwork can lead to being able to run around a little bit. One more guy, Chief. Let's get our jollies. Let's do our jollies here. Justin Jolly is a tight end. He's athletic. He's got ball skills at all 3 levels, which is good, right? You want to be able to do it real short tight end. You want to be able to do it secondary level, and downfield, third. He's going to be best. He's going to be drafted as some for a team that is going to utilize him in 12 personnel. Now, I don't know if Johnu Smith is screaming to you or not. I don't know if perhaps um, you know, Isaiah Likely wasn't. Isaiah Likely was a round 4 tight end, not necessarily a 12 per. Yeah, well, he is a 12 personnel tight end. He's a slotted tight end.
Yeah, no, he's a tight end. Like Justin Jolie is a tight end. I look at Justin Jolie, and then I instantly think of Mercedes Lewis, just an all around tight end. I know, see, Mercedes Lewis has been in the league for like 35 years, and everyone just knows him as this really good blocker. But early in his career, he was just really like a guy you threw the ball to, and he would just catch it and
So Mercedes
be a
Lewis,
great
again,
blocker. Like that's what I see when I see Justin Jolie playing football.
there should be a statue of Mercedes Lewis outside of like that tight end university that they put on. There should be a statue of Mercedes Lewis. Oh my lord, Michael Trigg. One more, Michael Trigg. Foot quickness, body control. Again, this is someone that is probably a day 3.
Mm-hmm.
There's more. All I'll say is there's more negative than there is positive in terms of the full scouting report. But Michael Trigg. How about not Chig? Chig is Foster Moreau is around 4 from 2019. How about more recent? How about Grant Calcaterra, round 6 tight end? Grant Calcaterra.
He's an interesting case because I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not sure if we've really seen like someone like this. Like he's really unique in the way he can catch the football. Uh, I don't know. Someone who could catch this spectacularly. I mean, we really had to like kind of put one to one. It probably would be Janu, but this dude's he's kind of different in a good and in a bad way.
Yeah, in the latter is what gets you, a lesser check. It's what gets you waiting there on the third day. Well, it is what it is. He'll get an opportunity, and that'll be it. War Chief, plant the flag for me. I mean, we spoke about 10 plus guys. We damn near like all of them. Okay. In 4 years from now, 4 years, this dude is up for extension. 3 years, this dude is up for extension based on his play over the last 3 years. Rookie on to in 2030, this dude's getting paid.
Yeah, I'm gonna plant my flag on the guys that I've been remaining planting my flags on. One, we've already discussed him, Jeremy Bernard. Jeremy Bernard, like I said, is going to be in the league for 10, 15 years, and he's going to be the fan base's favorite wide receiver. Little kids are going to have his jersey on because they're going to tell him the story about how Jeremy Bernard had 12 catches for 140 yards, and he won the game in overtime, and that's going to be the end of it.
The tissues are out and everything. Yep.
Yeah, like it's gonna be emotional. It's gonna be all that. Like it wouldn't surprise me if it was in MetLife and he was wearing green. Like it wouldn't surprise me when you telling that story. But
it's fantastic.
It's him for sure. And then also a guy who's gonna be, like I said, playing another league, playing like 10, 15 years. Hopefully remains healthy. But Eli Rard, tight end from Notre Dame. He is a pros tight end, can block, can catch, plays in line, plays out. When you actually turn on the tape and watch the Notre Dame running backs, a lot of the times you're probably going, who's that number 9 guy? He's like 6'7" and he runs good and he blocks good. And yeah, he's gonna be a lead guy. And then finally, the absolute lightning quick, just burner, Damon Claiborne from Wake Forest.
Damon Claiborne.
Yeah, I mean,
see now, Goats. I told you we weren't gonna get to all the prospects. We'd have multiple shows if we don't want to get to all of them. Damon Claiborne happens to be very much on a lot of players, a lot of teams' radar. I should say, a lot of teams' radar. Damon Claiborne, baby, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, in today's day and age, you have to have two running backs. You have to there is no more Priest Holmes 30 carries a game. You have to have a guy who has 10, a guy who has 14, and this dude has unreal speed, unreal acceleration. It's video game like, and I just don't understand why people don't see it. I mean, he's just like I said, former track star, and you can see him when he runs. I think playing at the smaller school hurt him, but when he gets
It's
to the league, you'll see how fast he is.
that has to do with it. It absolutely does. And otherwise, I mean, or maybe size, maybe, and again, just other guys that have had a little bit more competition. Nevertheless, yeah, Damon Claiborne is definitely a dude that we are all eyes on. Someone that might get used in like I mean, you mentioned it, like a lightning, but maybe not like the number two. Maybe like that complimentary Keaton Mitchell type.
Yep,
Maybe.
yep, absolutely.
I mean, the speed alone will get him a hat starting next weekend. All right, Coach. Well, thank you very much for being with us this evening. We will be back next week. Check us out. We'll be on live for the draft. Day one. No one that we talked about today, but maybe. You never know. Day one for the draft. The war chief will be live in Pittsburgh. Live. Oh, man, that's going to be fantastic. And yeah, we will be back on Thursday. We might be live even before that. Just check out all the content. We appreciate you very much. If you love or want context over noise, don't forget to like and subscribe. And that's it. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you very much.